Welcome to the next episode of the Interlocking Loops Floss Tube video. My name is Angela, your host, and to be able to contact me or follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Interlocking Loops. I do have a blog, which I do put, once I get cross-stitch patterns finished, for the most part, go up there. Not always the most timely manner, but they do get up there. And that blog is www.interlockingloops.com. Well, this is a quick Stitchmaynia catch-up episode. It is the third day of Stitchmaynia, so I'm a little late on that, but at least I know what I'm going to do for the first 3 days. Okay, well, let's just jump right in. Like I said, I think this will be a short episode today. I'm doing Stitchmaynia a little bit differently than I have done in the past. This is my third year of doing Stitchmaynia. The first year I did a new start about every 5 days. Last year it was about every 4 days. The first year I completed all of them during the month of May except one. They all were smalls. Last year I mixed in some smalls and medium projects, finished part of those, and part of those I'm going to work on again in this Stitchmaynia. So one of those includes Little House Needleworks fresh watermelon pattern. My lighting doesn't look the best, but we're still trying to do the best we can with all that, given my new place to do the videos for now. And I'm stitching this on a DMC as well as some fancy floss, just depending. It's on 18 count Ada Ivory. And last year I only got as far as getting the first big piece of watermelon finished. And on day one of Stitchmaynia, I did the small piece of watermelon and the fresh from the vine words. And I put that away then to work on the next project. This one will be a nice one for summer, so I appreciate that quite a bit. The next one is one I started then yesterday that I had hoped I would actually get done actually in March. It's by Heart and Hand. The square dance, for those of you that have followed me before, you know I have done these before. So there's January, February, I did both of those last year, and now I'm working on March. See all those cute little birds? I like those. So these are the square dance patterns, and I started working on the March one on May 2nd. This is 16 count Ada, coffee tea dyed, so it is darker. None of the birds have legs. None of the birds are done. And at least one of the birds doesn't have its eyes. That looks most close to what the actual color is at that point. So that I did for day 2 of Stitchmaynia. This should go fast. I have, let's see, I also did finished April, May, and June last year. Then I think I can go on with July, August, September. Another one that I'm pulling out from last year's Stitchmaynia that I did not get finished is Plump Street Sampler Spring Salt Boxes. I have all the seasons. These came in the spring, summer, fall, winter. I started with this one here. What's got the pretty flowers? The pink and blue. And I picked that up today to work on. And this one is in 18 count Ada. That's actually tea dyed, so it's mottled, but it's lightly mottled. What I had done before this current Stitchmaynia was pretty much the house. And that was all. So today I worked on flowers, some of the greenery, and put that away for day 3 of Stitchmaynia. I hope to be able to give you guys an update each day on kind of what I'm doing, just encapsulating it maybe 1 week at a time. In case you're wondering, I do keep the rest of the series in the same project bag. So if you're curious about the other salt boxes, here's Summer. I don't think I'll get any of these started this year, but these has the cute sheep on them. And then Fall is also in the same bag. More cute houses. And then lastly is the winter ones. It's hard for me to say which one of these two I like the best. I don't know, lighting isn't great here. A nice red house, which those of you that have watched for a while know that I like the houses and I like red barns, and this is kind of a combination of the two. So I keep all those in the same project bag. So it's possible when I finish one, I may go to the next one. I haven't figured out every day of Stitchmania, but I hope to rotate through a lot of these projects. This one I started here, I don't know if I had this one going the last time we talked or not. It's Brenna Gervais, the April Wordplay. See that cute bunny? Isn't he adorable? So this is on 18 count Ivory Aida. It still has a little bit of floss in with it too. So I started on the wagon. Some of this is DMC, some of it is hand-dyed fancy floss. So I haven't started this. I'll plan on working on this tomorrow, but that's another one I would like to get finished. I have a few more of those I need to get done as well, so I did buy a few fancy flosses to go with that pattern. We'll see that here coming up. Another one that's from last year's Stitchmania. Guess what? It's a red house. Red House in Winter by Little House Needleworks. Oh, I love that color. I do a variety of stitching in hand in different hoops. Let's see. This one still has a needle with it, or I left it from last year. That's probably not the smartest thing to have done. But I hope to work on that here in a couple days. I do have to take an online part of a CPR course this week too. So it's hard to tell what I have done, but here would be the front door. And so this is part of the house. So hope to get a bunch done on that this Stitchmania. And it does kind of seem like the Little House Needlework show, doesn't it? Alright, I have another one that you guys have been watching know I've been working on. This is another one I hope to get farther on. I should have pulled this out the day we had nearly a foot of snow about 2.5 weeks ago, but I didn't. Little House Needleworks Winter ABCs. It's a nice narrow one with several different motifs. And I'll show you where I am now, and then maybe next time I can show you where I've managed to get to. So this is Picture This Plus Aida. Let me see. I'm sure I have what color it is in here. Icon. Yeah, 17 by 25 inches. So it's a nice long one. It's a nice blue color. I'm not sure the blues read totally great given I have a blue background, but that one I hope to get more work on because I too have several of the seasons, and apparently I have taken the rest of them out. Yes, but this one was my favorite, so I wanted to start with that one first. So that's tentatively what I want to be rotating through to get a bunch of work done. As I get things finished, I may go on to another one, add another one in the loop. But I hope by the time the end of May is done that I have at least half of these actually finished, if not more than that. It's still kind of challenging as I'm still working full time, and things are still busy with the farm and the garden. And I've been enjoying some pretty good family time at the end of the day with my adult children being home. So Okay, so acquisitions. I did place an order with 123 Stitch. As you know, all the places that you're ordering from online seem to be a little bit slower because of all the stuff that's been going on and the high volume they've had and fewer people to actually get the work done. But Jack's Sweet Shop, Marry You by Plump Street Sampler. I picked up this one. Why, you ask? Of course, it's got the sheep in it, right? And then I did pick up a variety of different flosses for some of these different projects that I plan on starting. So some of them I have a list of ones that I haven't been able to locate. I have Slate by the Gentle Art Slate color. It's kind of a pretty gray, light gray. Then I have St. Bernard by Classic Colorworks. You can tell it's a little bit of a lighter gray blue. And then we have Endive, which I think most of you have seen Endive. I've used it a lot. It's a nice green, and that's by the Gentle Arts. Summer Shower by Gentle Arts, which is a nice light blue. And if we put it next to the Classic Colorworks St. Bernard, you'll see it's more blue. Definitely more blue to it. Corn Husk and Schneckley. Here's Corn Husk, a nice yellow, and Schneckley by Weeks Dye Works. The Gentle Art has the Corn Husk. So I guess it's to be determined exactly which one of these patterns these come from. Where these are going to, maybe Oscar. That's another kind of olive green. Let's see. I've got Weeks Dye Works a light khaki, which is just as it sounds. Sandcastle, which is a light tan. Hazelnut by Classic Colorworks. So to be seen which projects these go in that I need to work on. So I did finish, if you remember from the last episode, I had several pairs of socks I've been working on as far as other crafty things. I finished up all of those. If you want to see how they looked when they were finished, check out my Instagram, as I mentioned earlier. The thing I've started since then is actually a crochet project. I do a little bit of crochet, not a lot. But this is going to be a kind of a kerchief to wear on your head that's inspired by another YouTuber, something that she wore. And I'm making it out of leftover fingering weight sock yarn. Here's what I have done so far, and it's really pretty blues. So it will go on your head. I plan on tying it underneath to try to keep some of the hair out of the way when I'm doing some gardening. And the crochet hook, I have a set of crochet hooks from Knit Picks, the Bright Crochet Hook Set, and this is the one I'm using is a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook. And it's something that I can take with me that's fairly small that I can just work on. The actual pattern itself, I don't have one. It was inspired, so Fat Squirrel Speaks, Amy Beth, on her YouTube video. It's mainly, she does a little crochet, she does spinning and a lot of knitting. She was wearing one that came from a pattern from Ravelry, but I don't belong to Ravelry. But it was inspired by the Granny Square crochet shawl pattern. And you can find tutorials on YouTube if you just search Granny Square shawl pattern. Look through a few of those videos, pick one that is the clearest for you as far as instruction. And to me that mattered because I'm not a great crocheter. I don't have a lot of experience. And just get started, and that's what I did. So I plan on making a couple ties at the end when I've done a couple more rows, and then I'll be able to use it. So that's for as far as other crafts go. Things around here, the weather has gotten better. Today it was like 77 degrees outside, beautiful skies. Tomorrow the highs are in the 50s and it's supposed to rain all day. We do need a little bit of rain. We're in the middle of this week. We'll be weaning some lambs born in March, and we've got all the shearing done now, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to get that wool to the processors to be made into yarn. So I'm looking forward to that. Most of the garden is done. We're doing more vertical planting this year than we've done in the past, and I give my husband credit for that because he's the main one that does a lot of the planting, and I just like to do stuff with the produce afterwards. But we've been able to harvest asparagus already from the garden, and if you haven't planted asparagus, I encourage you to do so. I think for the most part you need to let it stay in the ground for a year before you actually pick anything from it. But it's something that every year it comes up like clockwork. What we did tonight with it, we picked it, we trimmed it, we washed it, then wrapped it with bacon, maybe 3 or 4 of the asparagus spears, and baked that in the oven, and that came out really well. So it's good to kind of use that stuff that you're growing, and it tastes good and it's healthy for you for the most part too. So that's about it for this episode. I know it was a fast one today, but I may be back in another week to 10 days to give you the update on what I've been doing since. And if you decided to join Stitchmania, I hope you're stitching along happily as well. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. And that's all for today. Talk to you later. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.